Hello and welcome back once again. This time I have got a very gnarly, soft bit of hawthorn. It looks quite nice in places, but it is pretty soft. And I haven't got a clue whether this is going to work out or not. But for the hell of it, let's have a go. Now, because this is so soft and spalted and pretty messy, I'm going to have my respirator on so you can enjoy some peace and quiet and just hopefully watch me turn. As you can see, that was rather a dusty process. I've still got bug holes, track holes, whatever you like. There we go. I've decided to sort of leave them in, but this is tearing up, don't matter what I try with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drown it in sand and sealer and let it dry and then come back to it. As you can see, it's had a good dosing of acrylic sand and sealer. It's actually been a couple of days since I actually did this. I've been a bit busy doing other things, so let's see whether this has improved it and I can scrape it, or whether it really is for the bin. Let's see. That area came out really well. I'm very pleased with that. It's just one little spot there, I think. This face, not quite as good, but I think it's worth having a go at sanding it. So I think that's what I'm going to do, and then make a final decision. So I will sand it off camera. We'll see how we get from there. I'm surprisingly very impressed with how well that's polished up to, sanded up I should say, sorry, up to 400 grit. I have got a few track marks. I think you can see one there. There's a couple more there and there. Obviously these ones you can see here anyway. And obviously I'm going to try filling them. And again, I've got this brass powder, which is just something you can put in and then put some super glue over the top of it. So I'm going to experiment with some of that. I think what you're supposed to do is I have no idea whether I'm doing this right or not, but put some super glue over the top of that. Sorry, I don't think you're going to be able to see quite what I'm doing. I'll try and show you in a minute. Right, so then you just apply some super glue. Let's see if I can just show you there. You can zoom in on that. There you go, that's a bit better. Hopefully that isn't going to stain, that super glue where it's run isn't going to stain. It looks like it might well do. Oh well. The camera a little bit. So hopefully you can see what I'm trying to do. So this time I think I'm going to put some, drop in. There we go. And then do that with it this time. Seems to take very well, so we'll give it a blob on top, let that soak in. I went for the brass because it was something total different colour. There we go. Wasn't a very good shot the first one, but never mind. And the other one, which is a real beauty, which hopefully you can just about see or see, is quite a deep one, and another one there. You can mess with me aim. Better. Or it's a very deep hole, one or the other. Looks a bit messy, but just let that dry up for a minute, and I will put it back on the lathe and sand it, and I'll bring it back. But I have no idea whether I'm doing anything right or not, or what it's even going to look like. But right, we're handheld, so apologies for some of the shakes, but I think you can. I don't know if I can zoom in anymore. Yeah. I think this is one of these things that you sort of have to put some in, sand it back, and do the same again. Where's the rest of them? Oh, no, that's not one. Right. Yeah, I'll have to add a bit more, but it puts a nice shine to it. I mean, this is sanded back up to 400, so I'm just going to add a bit more. There's the ones on the end. Wait, they're not there. They're there somewhere. There we go. See, that one's all come out pretty well, but that was quite a deep one. But this one, again, just needs building up a bit more. So I think I'll persevere with this, and I'll bring you back when I'm a bit nearer to some kind of success. Right, finally, it's taken me quite a few goes. And on the bottom we've got, it looks horrible. Where are we? It looks horrible there, but it's actually perfectly smooth. So I'm just going to live with it. Well, that's a very unusual finish. Smooth as anything. Let's see whether I can bring you in any closer to view that. That's smooth as can be. But where it's really punky, it's, well, it's not. It's almost like it's slurped up all the wax. So I think I'm going to give it another coat and see how that comes out. Pretty well still the same. All the hard bits, all the solid wood are lovely and shiny, but the slightly punky bits are dull. Decided just to go handheld, just so that you can see a little bit more of what I'm up against. Let's say I'm getting the same sort of thing as I had on the outside, which is this is incredibly soft in places and hard in others. If I bring you around to about here and zoom in, alright, there we go. You can see what I mean. In other places it's quite good. I'm quite pleased with it. I've actually managed to get a sharp corner transition between there and the bottom, which sort of mimics the outside shape, which is what I was sort of intending to do. But with this being so punky and soft, I think what I'm going to do is I am going to soak it again in sand and sealer and come back to it again. That's it all sanded up to 400 grit, but I've just been chasing my tail. I was sanding this, as you probably have seen, with the power sander, and then I was looking at it and I'm thinking, why is this all sort of like wavy? But this is that soft, it's just turned into powder in places. So it has shrunk in height that way, unfortunately, because I've had to get a skew, just gently sort of try and tidy it up a little bit so that it's actually relatively flat. But yeah, I've got some wormholes in here, which I think I'm going to try and fill again. I've got a couple on the inside of the bowl as well, so I'm going to have a go at it. You've already seen me do the outside, so you don't need to see me do it again. Right, we are finally back. This has been a bit of a battle, but there again, I think I just got to a point where I wanted to get it finished. I wasn't going to give up on it. Maybe that's a stubborn streak, but hey ho. But I'll show you where we've got to before I put a finish on it. See if I can get you in any closer. And inside, there were some beauty wormholes, but also, I mean, they're all smooth. There's nothing, all nice and smooth, and there's no, you can't feel anything. But they do certainly look worse than they actually are. What I found is that you can't sand with too low a grit, say like, I don't know, 60, 120, something like that, because then all you end up doing is, on this one especially, is revealing even more wormholes. So it's been a bit of a battle, but I've learned a few things, which is always good. So I'm going to put a finish on this. We'll sand it, put some sand and sealer on this inside, and we'll put some wax on that. So let me get the camera on the tripod and we'll go through that. Somewhat won the battle. It's not altogether very pretty, but I wasn't going to let it beat me. Right, what I've tried to do is actually, the shape on the outside I've tried to replicate on the inside. I wouldn't say I've entirely succeeded, but that's, for my current state of level of skill, I'm not sure whether Wormy Hawthorn or Turner won this battle. I'll let you decide that. But yeah, could have been better possibly, but it could have been a firewood pile. So thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.